Hey, I'm Ryan Curran, and I guess today I'll be Mr. Curran because I'll be teaching a couple PE lessons here. And I want to go over two broad topics. I want to talk about movement concepts and themes as the first one, and as the second one, I want to talk about fundamental motor skills. And movement concepts and themes has four subcategories, which I'm going to go over, and I'm going to teach an exercise or two for each one of those subcategories. And under fundamental motor skills, we're going to discuss locomotor and non-locomotor skills because those are the two fundamental motor skills, and I'm going to teach a couple exercises along with each one of those too. So to start with, I want to talk about movement concepts and themes quickly before we get into the lesson. And I want to talk about number one, which is body awareness. And our text defines it as body awareness defines the body, what the body can perform, what shapes it can make, and how it can balance, any other transfers of weight. And the second I want to go over, second subtopic under movement and concept themes is space awareness or spatial awareness. And it says space awareness defines where the body can move. The spatial qualities of movement have to do with moving in different directions and at different levels. And it's very important. Spatial awareness is a huge part of elementary PE education, and I've learned that working as a PE assistant for third, fourth, and fifth graders for the last few years, is that spatial awareness is not something that comes naturally for the younger kids, and it's something that has to be learned. Anyways, the third subtopic I want to talk about would be qualities of the movement, and it says the qualities of the movement define how the body moves rather than dealing with specific movements. So the focus is on movements, how they're performed, the speed. If you're demonstrating, you tell someone to land lightly, or if you tell someone to land hard, to jump high, to jump low. It gets more specific towards the qualities of the specific movements. And last, for number four, under movement and concept themes, we'll talk about relationship. And what that means is the relationship of the body to the exercises that you're actually doing. For example, near, far, above, below, over, under, in front of, behind, on, or off. Those are just kind of general ways the body can relate to an exercise. So that's the first thing, movement and concepts. I'm going to teach a few exercises for those, and then we're going to move on to fundamental motor skills. So let's get started. I'm making do with the limited amount of space that I have here. I'm in my home recording studio right now, so I apologize for the lighting, and I apologize for the limited amount of space, but hey, we're in a pandemic. Sometimes it's the best we can do, right? So let's start with body awareness. I want to start by just doing basic jumping, and then I want to move on to jumping with your landing with your legs spread and landing with your legs directly together. So the way I would teach this basically is we start both knees together and we do one movement up into the air, and we swing our arms from our hips all the way up into the sky. So every time you jump, you're starting low and bent down and you're jumping up into the sky. And normally you wouldn't have a ceiling over you like I do. Otherwise I would jump higher or I'd punch a hole in my ceiling. But I want you to do that 10 times. Start low, like you're holding two suitcases. Bring your hands above your head and explode up and jump and get your feet off the ground as high as you can. We start with that. And the second thing I would teach is jumping, but I make it a little bit more detailed. So I go from jumping into jumping and landing with your legs spread open. So I do the same motion. We start low, jump up, and this time we land with our legs spread out like this and bend down. Same thing. We start with our arms down below our weights like two suitcases, jump up, and then we want to land back in our own position, and then repeat that motion about 10 times. Jumping up, landing with the legs spread, jump back up, landing normally, jump back up, landing with the legs spread. And when I'm teaching this, I emphasize to, when you're going from legs spread to legs together, make an effort to focus on balance. And when you're landing and alternating from legs spread to legs together, make sure you bring your legs a little bit closer than shoulder length apart. I'm already out of breath. Haven't been exercising this much in the last few months, so this is good for me too. Second, let's talk about an exercise for space awareness, spatial awareness. First one I want to do is I want to run in a zigzag formation. A good way to imagine this is imagine that there's hula hoops, or put down actual hula hoops and do 1 foot in each one, and then we're going a side to side motion 4 times up and then 4 times back. So we start in a hoop here, 1, hop over 2, hop over 3, hop over 4, and then we're going to reverse back into those hoops, the imaginary hoops, or if you have actual hoops or tires, which we normally don't have at school, but if we do, we'd be using those. And then I want to go from there, do that about 10 times, and then we want to move on to that same exact motion, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 back, but I want to move on to it with a 2-foot hop. So we start in the first circle, and we're gonna combine the body awareness jumping motion with your hands down above. We're gonna combine that with the spatial awareness of the zigzag 2-foot hop. So remember what I taught? You bend your knees, you have your hands down like a briefcase, and then you lift it up. You hop to the second circle, lift it up, hop to the third circle, lift it up, hop to the fourth circle, and so on and so forth. We go back to the same one, back to the same one, back to the start. And we make sure when we're doing this to keep the same balanced position that we had before, where our legs are about shoulder length apart. We're not doing the wide spread this time. It's going to be shoulder length apart, hands low, hands up in the air until we land, and as we land, our hands come back down and go right back where they began in the first circle. Alrighty, let's move on to how does the body move. I want to focus on speed and time here. This one's going to be very simple, but this is a hard workout. It's really good for cardio. I like to do this when I'm warming up before a run or a workout. And working with kids, they actually enjoy this one because they get to get really hyper and go really quick. So what I would start out with is I would just do a jog like this. I would do jog for 10 to 15 seconds. And as that goes on, we go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And once we hit 1, we're going to do a sprint in place as fast as we can for about 8 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we go back to the jogging motion. We count down from 15. We're going to speed up. For the lesson purposes, we'll say we get down to 3, 2, 1, and then sprint for 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue that on, so on and so forth, about 5 repetitions. Anyways, number 4, the relationship of the body, the physical body. I want to keep this pretty simple, but this is a good demonstration of the relationship asymmetrically and symmetrically doing jumping jacks. So we're going to start off with our body being perfectly symmetrical. We're going to do standard jumping jacks, hands down by the side again. We jump up, hands up, and our legs spread open. So this is going back again to body awareness, spatial awareness, and a little bit of speed and time. We're actually kind of combining them all together. And so we start here, briefcases again, jump up, legs spread, and you can't see them in the camera, it doesn't fit everything here. Legs spread, arms up, and then jump from that position back, straight, flat again. And we just repeat this, and I'd probably do about 30 of those. And it's important because that discusses the relationship of movement, concepts, and themes. You're centered here, and you're completely symmetrical on the left side and the right side, or at least you should be pretty close to being symmetrical. And the last part of this category, I want to do some kind of version of asymmetrical jumping jacks. They have a more specific name, but I can't remember right now exactly what it's called, but I'm going to call them asymmetrical jumping jacks. I think that's better. So anyways, we're going to start with one leg forward. The left leg will be forward, the left arm will be up. This time, we're actually going to be matching our motions, but the symmetry right here is going to be off. We're going to have one side always down, and then one side always up. So we'll start here, left foot forward, left arm up, and we're going to switch. And now my right arm's up, and my right leg is forward. We switch, and we're going to do this motion back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Those are actually a little bit harder than regular jumping jacks, so I probably do about 15. Anyways, let's move on to fundamental motor skills. We have locomotor, which is when you're actually moving from place to place, you're not staying stationary. And I want to demonstrate an exercise for locomotor. And I want to hop in different shapes, and I think this is good for kids because kids, when it gets their brain active, thinking about not only physical exercise, but also thinking about shapes, gets them a little bit more entertained. It gives them something else to think about rather than just hopping randomly back and forth. So I want to start with is a 2 feet locomotor motion, and I'd say we'll start with a square. We start in spot 1, hop forward, hop to the right, hop back, and hop to the beginning again. And we just made a square. And you can just imagine it as 1, 2, 3, 4. and just make an imaginary square in the line. Same motions, arms up, feet moving, knees bent, and landing lightly, landing softly. That's one thing I forgot to mention. On all these workouts, we should be landing as soft as we can because it's better for the workout, it's better for your knees, it's better for your feet, better for your body. So we start with the square, and then I'll say, let's make it interesting. Let's do a triangle. Start in the same spot. This time we jump forward and to the center for the tip of the triangle, and then back and to the right, to the back side of the triangle, and then jump again to the back left. And we just repeat that motion over again, and we'd see making a triangle here, so on and so forth. Do that about 10 times. And now working up a sweat here. And now the next one I want to do, kids like a little bit of competition sometimes, even if it's just with themselves. So I want to see how far we can hop from point A to point B. So we wouldn't worry about the shapes, we wouldn't worry about doing anything complicated, just as far as you can possibly hop. And we'd start in one point, just go and lunge down far, and we're gonna do a big swing with our arms here. Big swing forward, not forward enough to crash into my iPad, but we do that, and as we get here, probably make a turn around, and jump back to the same spot, and that would complete our locomotor skills. We did 3 of those. And now for non-locomotor, I have 3 of these. We'll do something really basic. Let's do some push-ups. Non-locomotor skills push-ups, I think, are a great exercise, and they're a good demonstration of upper body strength and how non-locomotor skill can actually get your heart rate up and get you sweating. So I would go down. I would do about 10, it depends on the grade level, maybe 5 to 10 basic push-ups. Although if I go down right now, I'm pretty sure you can't see me. So you have to trust me that I do the push-ups in this part. And now I want to move on to the second part of non-locomotor. And I love this exercise. It's a really good warm-up. And it's a better workout than you'd expect. I want to do some shoulder circles. So we spread our arms out as far as we can go. We start with small circles forward. And then we work our way up to some medium circles. We stay about 10 to 15 seconds at each one. And then big circles forward. Keep our elbows straight as much as we can. And not much of your body is supposed to be moving at this point. You're supposed to be very stationary and very balanced. You can have both feet together, or you can have your feet staggered, one foot in front of the other. And then we go big circles back, and then we go medium circle, and then we'd end on the small circles. If we do that for cumulatively for about a minute, our shoulders will be burning. Student shoulders will be burning. Your guys' shoulders will be burning. It's a great workout. It's a good way to get warmed up too. And then I want to end it with another non-locomotor skill. It's easy, but it's fun to do, and it's a good way to kind of relax and calm down and let the heart rate go back down, because I know I need that right now. And I want to do something very basic, just balancing on one foot. Depending on what your skill level is, you can have your foot, start with your left foot off the ground and have it about at knee height. You gotta trust me right now, I'm balancing on one foot. And then if that gets a little bit easier, you can then begin to bring your leg up like this. See how long you can balance on one foot right here. And then pull that towards your torso and see how long you can balance on that. And then we switch from balancing on the right foot to balancing on the left foot. Start here and about knee height with the foot, and move up here, and then eventually we'd end up here. Repeat that a couple times. It's a good cool down, and it's a good way to demonstrate a non-locomotor skill and show how you can also stretch while doing that. So anyways, that completes my lesson for movement concepts themes from chapter 15 and fundamental motor skills, which we go over in chapter 16. Hope you enjoyed that workout. It's probably the most working out I've done in quite a bit. But anyways, yeah, my name is Ryan Curran, and that's it.